Thank you, Sam. Those were good questions, I agree, and those were good answers to those questions. We continue to appreciate everyone who submits the questions, and he's already said that if you would like to do that, you can certainly submit your questions in writing to Sam or to me, and be sure and sign off so we'll know who wrote which question in case we need to get some clarification. The third question tonight, the man who was casting out demons in Luke chapter 9, verses 49 through 50, how did he have that power? For the apostles did not seem to know him. So let's just read that, Luke chapter 9, verses 49 and 50. John said, "Master, we saw someone casting out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him because he does not follow with us. But Jesus said to him, 'Do not stop him, for the one who is not against you is for you.'" You know, there were pretend exorcists in the first century. You can read about them, for example, in Acts chapter 19, the 7 sons of Sceva who were called exorcists. But we know from reading the story in Acts chapter 19 that they didn't really cast out demons. When they saw what the Apostle Paul was able to do, they realized that guy's got the power to do that. And they figured out that the magical word was Jesus. And so when they tried to cast out demons, doing their exorcism thing, they just incorporated the word Jesus into their activities. And of course, we know, if you're familiar with the story in Acts chapter 19, how that ended. It did not end well for those 7 guys. So yeah, there were pretend exorcists in the first century, but the guy that we read about in Luke chapter 9, he's not one of those guys. This guy really was casting out demons in the name of Jesus. To do something in the word or in the name of Jesus, of course, does not mean that they simply used the word Jesus. That was the problem that the 7 sons of Sceva had. It is actually the problem that a lot of folks in this day and time have. They find some magical power in their mind just using the word Jesus. And that's really not what doing things in the name of Jesus is about. It has to do with his authority. Casting out demons by the authority of Jesus. And that, I think, answers the question. Again, the question is, how did he have the power to cast out demons? Well, he had that power because Jesus gave him that power. He was truly casting out demons in the name of Jesus, by the authority of Jesus. And so the question then is, well, how did he go about getting that power from Jesus? Well, Jesus gave it to him. And I don't know that it's any more complicated than that. He had already bestowed power upon his 12 apostles. That's in the earlier part of Luke chapter 9. Later in the very next chapter, in Luke chapter 10, he bestows that same power to cast out demons on the 70 or the 72. And so he must have given that same power to some others besides the apostles and besides these 72. And apparently he gave that power to some that the apostles did not know. Truly, they did not know these people, but Jesus gave them that power. We just have no record of when Jesus did that. And so that's really all that I could tell you about that. I think it answers the question. He was casting out demons by the power of Jesus, the same way that the apostles did.